You want them to listen. So you stand there, spine straight, breath steady, voice leveled, not loud, not soft, just precise. They stare. You hold. The silence stretches. That's where the power lies, not in the words, but in the space before them. Then you speak. There's no next time. Only now. Someone shifts. That's all it takes. A ripple. Doubt breaks formation. Eyes start to dart. Good. That means they're listening. You move. You had the chance. All of you. But you waited. You waited because it was easy. Because risk is ugly and safety tastes sweet when you've never had to bleed for it. Stillness again. You let the weight settle in. Then, I didn't come here to make you comfortable. Someone snorts. You clock it. Let it go. I came here because your comfort brought consequences. Every delay. Every excuse. Every look the other way. Step forward. That's how rot spreads. No apology. No explanation. Just the truth, raw and unfiltered. You think this ends clean. It never does. Not if it matters. And this matters. Because it's not about power. It's about refusal. The refusal to bend. To break. To be small when you know you're not. A breath. You knew the line. And you crossed it. All of you. Together. Quietly. Privately. Now you want to pretend you didn't. No. Not here. Not today. No reaction. That's fine. Stillness can mean fear. Or fury. Both are tools. You keep going. I stood there, watching. Waiting. Hoping maybe you'd get it. But nothing changes until someone pushes. So here I am. Another step. And if you think for a second I'll flinch, you're not listening. You're hoping. There's a difference. The door opens. Brief glance. Then ignored. You have one shot left. That's not a threat. It's a fact. The kind that doesn't care how you feel about it. The air gets tighter. And before you ask, no. I don't want peace. I want answers. I want movement. I want what was promised. Not whispered. Not hinted at. Promised. Delivered. Now. A pause. Sharp. And if that means I break the rules, so be it. You made the rules. I make the cost. The lights hum. The sound sharpens the silence. It holds. You want to shut this down. Try. But understand this. You let the weight settle once more. Once truth walks into a room, it doesn't leave quietly. And then nothing. No finality. No resolution. Just presence. Absolute. Unapologetic. Because in moments like these, clarity is power. And you, finally, are the one holding it. They didn't expect resistance. They expected compliance. Nods. Agreements. Safe words. But you weren't built for that. You weren't raised in silence. You were sharpened by it. So when they look at you now, trying to measure what you'll say next, they're already behind. You called it structure. I called it a cage. One flinches. Small. Telling. You tied it up in policy, protocol, process. But it was fear. Yours. Disguised as order. Wrapped in language to keep it palatable. Someone coughs. You ignore it. And every time someone questioned it, you smoothed it over. Rewrote the script. Pretended it was progress. It wasn't. It was maintenance. Now they shift. Not just bodies but narratives. You say change is coming. I say it's overdue. And I'm not asking anymore. You don't blink. You don't wait for approval. You just continue. There's a line between control and cowardice. You crossed it when you chose silence over action. When you said not now. When you labeled urgency as aggression. A beat. Enough to register. Then. You think I came alone. You let the words hang. Let the idea settle. That's your mistake. You see one voice and forget the echo behind it. But it's here. It's loud. And it remembers. Someone leans forward. They want to speak. You cut through. No speeches. No spin. Just answers. Or consequences. You don't get both. Silence again. Thick. Intentional. You can't erase what you allowed. Not with a statement. Not with a policy revision. It's done. The past is written. What you get to decide is what comes next. A sharp breath. Controlled. But make no mistake, you don't set the terms. Not anymore. Another one opens their mouth. You raise a hand. Just enough. You want time. You had years. You want understanding. You had silence. You want grace. A pause. Earn it. You start walking. Not away, just enough to force them to turn, to follow the motion. The room adjusts. They feel the shift now. I don't need your vote. I'm not here to win a room. I'm here to remind you that comfort is not a metric of justice. The words strike fast, then settle like ash. And if you thought I'd come here to ask for permission. You meet their eyes. Then you've learned nothing. No flourish. Just presence. Final. Undeniable. Because this isn't a request. It's a reckoning. They thought silence would end it. That if no one responded, the fire would burn out. But fires don't vanish when ignored. They spread. Quietly. Completely. You step forward again. No raised voice. No anger. Just control. You think this is chaos. It's not. It's clarity. You've just never seen it held with purpose before. They try to regroup, eyebrows tighten, hands clasp, someone writes something down. As if notes will protect them from what's already here. You wanted structure. Here it is. Not yours. Mine. Someone smirks, faint. You catch it. You still believe you're above consequence. That belief is your weakness. No threat. Just a readout of reality. You built this on compliance. But compliance was borrowed time. And now the debt's due. They start to interrupt. You don't allow it. You speak when it's safe. That's not dialogue. That's performance. A breath. Centered. Every single person who stood here before me gave you a chance to do the right thing. You chose ease. You chose reputation over responsibility. Now you don't get to choose. They want control back. But it's not theirs anymore. You made people invisible. Then punished them when they finally spoke. You used language like process, like procedure, to delay what you never intended to do. You don't need to pace. Stillness now says more than movement. And when accountability knocked, you blamed the system. But you are the system. Their faces shift. It's not guilt. It's exposure. And exposure is louder than any speech. I'm not your disruption. I'm your reflection. And if that unsettles you, ask why. Still no response. Good. Let them feel it. You don't get to shrink now. Not after the damage. Not after the denial. You don't get to whisper about progress when you built the wall blocking it. You pause. And if you're hoping this gets softer with time, you're mistaken. Time doesn't dilute truth. It concentrates it. Someone finally speaks. Weak. Defensive. But things are different now. You hold eye contact. Then answer. Simple. Prove it. No room for negotiation. Because we don't want your statements. We want your structure dismantled. We want your name spoken. We want the lies accounted for. They shift again. You continue. You think fear keeps people quiet. But the real fear now is what happens when we stop being quiet. The silence tightens. This isn't a movement. It's a mirror. Held up close. Unforgiving. And you're going to see exactly what you made. A breath. You ran the show. Now sit with the aftermath. One last glance around. And remember, justice doesn't wait for your comfort. It moves when it's ready. And now, it's moving. They want you to soften now. Shift tone. Offer something they can digest. A version they can reframe. PK News.